I'm live. We're live. Thank you so much. Well, we had this problem yesterday where I was live for like an hour in the water, but no notification went out. So at the start of the live stream, I had two people watching, and at the end, I had two. And then they went back and looked, and there was no notification. Now, I had just done a short live stream the day before, and I had, I don't know, 200, 250 people total watching. Then you go back and look at this one, and there's two total watchers. So you know something's wrong. That hike wore me out there, Arcelius Corner. Yes, sir. Well, we're going to have an interesting talk today. I was talking to a guy the other day, and he said, Big E, I've never met a foreigner like you. No, I'm just kidding. No, that didn't happen. He said, Big E, I'm 64 years old, and I got my eye on this 18-year-old girl. She's actually 17 and 11 months. And he's talking about waiting for one more month before he enters into a relationship because he's not sure what the age of consent is. The age of consent in Thailand is 15, but that's Thai to Thai. And then they have the welfare rules and this rule. Back before the age of consent, the Philippines was 12 a few years ago. And then they changed it to 16. But then they have all these regulations that go with it, DSWD regulations. So if you came from a certain state, let's say like you came from Arizona, where the age of consent was 18, you're still going to be held to that standard no matter what the Philippines general law was. Now, the last time I looked, I think there was about 37 states that had age of consent between 16 and 17, and there was 13, I think, that had, or maybe it was 37 for 16. There was uh, two at age 17, and then there was about 11 at 18. Oh, yeah. 10 people in the house. Welcome to the Big E Medicine Man Show, where we dispense free BS non medical advice. No, actually, we don't dispense medical advice. I'm not a doctor, but there's common sense things that we could talk about. A lot of common sense things, a lot of studies, a lot of different things. I've spent a lot of time studying. Be happy to talk about it as long as it's not misconstrued as medical advice. Because if you give medical advice, you should be a medical doctor. But I think it's okay to talk about some general guidelines. Like, for instance, most people have a magnesium deficiency. So taking magnesium supplements kind of makes sense. You have too little, you take a little more, you bring it up to baseline, right? There's more things to this, like the different types of magnesium. Some will just make you poop, and others you'll absorb much more into your body, like glycinate. Okay. So you can talk about stuff like that. But as far as diagnosing and talking like we are actual experts in law, in medicine or law. We're not. And nobody else is either. And no one else is an expert in immigration law, are they? James, how are you? James Oliver. Is that you, Shardy? Shardy, I don't know if that's you or not, but you've had several names that sound like that. But today, yes, we could talk about supplements. We could talk about AAS, anabolic androgenic steroids, or we could talk about SARMs, peptides. We could talk about anything, but what we really want to talk about today is age gaps. I'm, that is you, huh? You got arrested, huh? I thought, so how's your rehabilitation going? I've seen some pictures of you, and it looked like you were laying low for quite a while. We're always in no man's land here. We don't know if you want to be left alone or you want people to talk. But whatever it is, we'll certainly praying for you that you get in a good place and that get it all completely blown out, so you can move on with life and have a good life. I know you stopped alcohol for a long time. You're on holiday. Well, thank you so much, Jules. Where are you holidaying at, Jules? If you don't mind my asking, we are sort of on holiday and we're sort of living here now part time, which is Phuket, Thailand. We normally live in Da Nang, Vietnam. We spent a great many years in Philippines. So we could talk about SARMs, peptides, AAS, supplements. We could talk about anything you want to talk about because there are no restrictions as long as it's not below the belt and it's not um, personally attacking someone. If you're going to personally go after people in a low blow way, then we're just going to get you off here. But if you just want to talk about anything else, feel free, respectfully. That's something trolls are not capable of doing. But normal people, we can be respectful of each other. We all have differences of opinion. The topic of today's thing is an age gap relationship. I was sharing that I have a guy that I know who walked up to me the other day and said, "Biggie, Biggie, Biggie, you are a foreigner in America." No, I'm just kidding. He didn't say that. But he said that he has a girl that's 17 and 10 months or 11 months, and he's counting the days because the day she turns 18, they're going to be living together. So, what do you think of that? I mean, like a 64-year-old geezer with a soon to be 18-year-old girl. I tried it. Not at, I mean, I was only in my 40s, but I dated somebody in the Philippines who was 18, and I had a hard time, boy. Let me tell you. I mean, there were good benefits with it. I'm not going to lie, but like going in public, we went to Manila, we went to go to the mall in Cebu. We went to these different locations, and it was so awkward for me that I had a very hard time being able to stay focused because it was so ludicrously out of balance. And that was at 40. I was probably 48 at that time, I think. And the girl was 18. Now this one's 64 with 18. What do we got here? Are you sleeping, April? I don't know. Oh, I thought that was the hip hop honeyco was in the house. Oh, back down to two people now. See, this is what's so weird because it'll suddenly shoot up to like uh, 30, sometimes 40. Then it'll drop down to two, and it'll go to 15 for a few minutes. Then it'll drop to eight, and it kind of goes all over the place. And it seems that if YouTube doesn't like what you're saying, they will shadow ban you. That's what Michael Thomas Fazio said. He was sharing the secrets of the $1 bill. Doo, doo, doo. I think the big secret of the $1 bill for him was he didn't have any dollar bills, completely busted. But he wrote a book called The Secrets of the Dollar Bill, which I read, and it was truly unbelievable. And so every time we're out there at Kata Beach, they have a ton of um, jet skis, and we all remember Fazio putting a jet ski on the roof of his little shack. And so we say, salute you, Thomas Michael Fazio, who is up in the great jet ski in the sky. May you rest in peace, and thank you for the years of entertainment, especially considering almost nothing that ever came out of your mouth was true. You did it in an entertaining way. I'll give you that. So we bid you R.I.P. and best wishes wherever you might be in the great digger in the sky. All right, so where are we here? Arcelius Corner says that's what most old geezers like: 64 male, 18 female. The question, though, Arcelius, is if that girl is normal, let's say she's normal physiologically and biologically, do you think she's going to be happy and satisfied? Okay, let's see. Liberty says as long as the older man and younger woman are okay with. Oh, I don't think it's a big deal either. I don't personally have a problem with it. I did, though, Liberty, because I think before you got in here, I was saying that when I was, I can't remember if I was, I think I was 48 at the time. I ended up dating in Cebu a girl that was 18. And we traveled a bit together. We went to Manila. We went to, to malls. We did everything. And I liked the person. And she was very respectful and very friendly. But it was my fault because it was so awkward. I'm the type of person who goes out almost every single day, do a lot of nightlifing, do a lot of club activity, live bands. I love going to see live bands, karaoke, the whole bit, right? Comedy clubs. And we would go, and you could just see that everyone is just staring daggers at you. And you go, um, I was self conscious about it. I wasn't ready for it yet. So I have to say that was my fault because that was a nice person and respectful. Arcelius Corner knows that person very well as well. And they were very good friends with each other as well. But it just was one of those things that, while physically it was very pleasing, I couldn't see the longevity of it. I couldn't see going through life where you feel that awkward every time you walk out the door. So it never really had a chance to blossom all that much. But if they both want it and they both consent to it, I don't have any problem with it. I don't have a problem with any configuration. LGBT, gay, lady boys, whatever people want to do, if they're both consenting to it, I don't have a problem with it at all. I grew up in an era where it was almost impossible for anybody to come out and admit they were gay. And I had a couple friends in high school, I think three, and one of them asked me if I would do something with them. And then I said no. And the person got on his hands and knees begging me not to tell anybody because of the repercussions. So I grew up in that era, but I kept their secrets because I think they have a right to be like that. It, regardless of what you think about it, as an adult, they have the right. That's why I would never out anyone. I know a lot of people. I've been saying in the live streams lately, I know several well-known people in the genre who could not get their dick hard even with a fistful of Viagra. I know one of them that hasn't been able to achieve an erection in 15 years. I think everybody would gasp if you knew who it was, but I'm not going to share it because that was told to me in confidence. As long as it's legal, yeah. And so on the legality issue, and I think a lot of people got in trouble with this, don't assume that if the law says it's 15, like it does here in Thailand, or it was 12, like it used to be in the Philippines, don't assume that that's legal for you. Go by your own country's laws. Because while it might be age of consent might be 12 or whatever the age is, that's usually designed for people that are under the age of the other regulation consent laws, which like DSWD in the Philippines, they've got about a mile long list of do's and don'ts. So if you're a visitor to the Philippines and you're with someone under the age of 18, uh, you're you're held to that standard, even if the age of consent was 12. Now, if the girl is lying to you and deceiving you, that's a whole different story. That happens too, where they tell you that they're 20 years old and they might be, 15 or something. You can't be held accountable for lies. But as a general course of action, the best thing to do when you're dealing with someone who is near that age of 18 is to demand that they show an ID just to protect yourself and have them tell you on camera their age, their name, their age, the date of birth. I've had it happen before where I asked the girl that question on camera. She didn't have an ID. I said, "Well, what's your date of birth?" And, I go, "You don't know your date of birth?" Well, it turned out that girl was much younger than what she was claiming she was. She admitted it. So you just have to be careful, very, very careful. Now, my own rule of thumb, and this is from somebody who spent more time in Asia than almost anyone on YouTube has. I've been around long before any of the vloggers that you might know have been there. I think the best rule of thumb is if you keep it under 20 years age gap, you actually have a chance of having a real relationship. I think if it's over, let's go back to my friend who's 64. Do you think he's going to be able to go in there and perform for her? Like he's going to be able to give her what she really wants and needs? He might be able to give her financially what she wants and needs. But these girls like to spread their legs. They like to fuck. That's just the reality. And if they're not getting it from the 64-year-old guy and they're only 18, where do you think they're going to get it from? When grandpa's taking a nap, they're out there in the neighborhood. They're out there doing this anyway. I could literally write an encyclopedia of examples like this of all the people I've known of all my years living in Southeast Asia. Big Kevin is in the house. Oh, yeah, Kevin, you missed it. We had about 35 people in the house earlier. It's dropped off now because we're talking about a topic that's hard for people to listen to. It's hard for people to listen and accept. But the reality is this: if you're with an 18-year-old and you're in your 60s, that girl is probably not going to love you. It's not going to be real. You're only deluding yourself. Now, if you grew up in America like most of us, you know that even a 5 year age gap is pretty big. So let's say that same 64-year-old dude, instead of looking for an 18-year-old, let's say he was looking for somebody 40 years old. Well, a 40-year-old woman looks mighty good standing next to a 64-year-old geezer. Now, if you just want short term romances, you want to rack up the body counts, that's a whole different story. And I was single for half of the time I was in Asia, and I lived like a single person, and I racked up astronomical body counts. But as a family man now, it's a whole different story, of course. You know, you can't live the same way. But if you're, I'm talking about people who are looking for real relationships, though, not just the one night stand stuff. What do you think about that, Arcelia? What do you think about that, Honeycomb? What do you think about that, Big Kev? We're still here in Phuket, everybody. We'll probably be here another, oh, I'd say at least another 2 weeks or so. I have to go to Europe. We'll probably just hang here till I go to Europe. I'm actually looking into moving everybody to Europe. I want to do, I'd like to spend about 6 months over there and then spend the other time in Vietnam and Thailand. But, once it gets cold over there, then I'll hightail it out. But we'll see. Yeah. The business in Europe is booming. It's like absolutely almost to the point of being too good to be true. So we're seeing in the high 40s growth rate. We might we might grow 50% this year. And our data center world is up to 47%. We were at 43%. Big pharma was at 46. Now we're at 48 and 47 respectively. And we're having to turn down meetings because we just don't have the time to get to everything. So one alternative is to move there and try to bust out as much as possible before it gets cold again. But I don't want to leave my family behind. That's the issue. You should see these airport scenes every time they happen. Mad Max, how are you? Wi-Fi's bad. Is that yours or my Wi-Fi? It's possible my Wi-Fi's bad. Sorry if mine's bad, Mad Max. Um, my these scenes at the airport are always very gut wrenching. They always take me to the airport, the kids and April and Honeyco, and it's so painful. Honestly, after all these years of doing this lifestyle, it's still gut wrenching for me. Now, once I get to my destination, get in a hotel, I usually get there one day before I have to do any work. So I have a day just to, settle in and, get used to the different time change and jet lag, everything like that. Once that second day comes, I'm fine. I could stay there for a month and just pedal down, work, 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 working all day, meeting clients, dealing with friends, dealing with associates, dealing with reps, day in and day out, and every day and every night. By the time you do a month of that with dinners, breakfasts, and everything else, you are destroyed. Okay. And then I have to get back. Oh, your Wi Fi. Okay. Then you have to get back and fly back, like, let's say 12 hours, 14 hours. And you get back and you're a zombie. And then you have your reunion and it's wonderful. It's just super nice. You go out, you hang out, you go out to dinner, you go to the mall, you bring them a little gift, and it's a reunion. Okay, and then so, but it's gut wrenching. I hate being away from them for even 24 hours, but being that I'm the provider here, I have to do what I have to do. So the thought would be that if I live somewhere in the middle, not the middle like Turkey middle, but I'm talking the middle of somewhere between East and West uh, Europe. So I'm thinking maybe Munich. I've thought of moving to Amsterdam or Eindhoven, Netherlands. I mean, there's different thoughts going into it. And then if I could get them there with me for 6 months, what we would do is we would go for 6 months, which would take us into December. Because by November it's cold there. It's super cold. Certainly, even by October, it's mildly cold. And so, and then live in Europe for 6 months, and then come back to Asia, Thailand, and Vietnam for the other 6 months. That's the plan that I would like to pursue right now. But we'll see. But for now, I take them everywhere in Asia. So if I go to Malaysia, if I go to Singapore, if I wherever I go, I just take them. Their schooling is an international school that's British based, but is done largely online. And they have a few chapters in Vietnam where they have to go in and check in and do testing. So it's an international school slash homeschooling. They all just got tested very extensively, which they do every 2 years of very thorough tests. And they were all in the 99 percentile. Hey, how you doing there, Maxud? It's hard to say that, but welcome to the Big E Show. But because that curriculum is largely done online, we are able to travel. And there's Tim Disiak, a man among boys. Tim Disiak of Angeles City, 14-year resident over there in the Philippines. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So their curriculum is largely done online. So it's an international school that is has some local chapters around the world, and so some of it's done in person, and most of it's done online. And then they have a proctored test. They do a test every year, but the official tests that have to go into the government are done every 2 years. So they all got tested, and they were all at that 99 percentile or above. But the good part of that story is that gives them the freedom to travel and to go with me to explore all these countries. So right now they've been to about 8 countries, and they got that travel bug like I do. But with that said, we've pretty much tapped out Southeast Asia, been pretty much everywhere. we've considered going and actually buying a physical house in Japan, which you can do now, a very nice house, actually. They've abandoned their suburbs largely. And even as a foreigner, you can go there and buy a house, buy land, and do all kinds of things. I saw some for sale that were $10,000 to $15,000 that are incredible. I wouldn't mind doing that because I like Japan. I lived in Japan for 1 year and I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot. So I've been probably a dozen business trips to Japan, and I lived there for 13 months. So I like Japan, but for my business purposes, I think going to Europe would fit better. The other thing we've given some thought to, which will probably drive a lot of people crazy around here, is I really like the cities of Abu Dhabi and Doha. I like them a lot. And Abu Dhabi was the safest city in the world for 2 or 3 years running recently. These are incredibly advanced, amazing places. And from Abu Dhabi or Doha, I can get up into Europe in a matter of a couple of hours. And I would have no problem whatsoever living there. I like the cities. I like the lifestyle. It's just absolutely fabulous over there. So those are kind of the things that are being mulled around. Now, if you go and tell everyone on YouTube, you might move everybody to Abu Dhabi, they're really going to freak out. Well, Doc Kim, I know you live there. I like Dubai. I was just telling the girls yesterday all the wonders of Dubai. But I don't know what it is, but I just like Abu Dhabi more. They both are about somewhere between 3 and 4 million. They're both very close to each other, but their architecture and everything is different. So, as a family person who would be bringing 7 people, it just seems, I don't know. I like Dubai too, though. I do. I like Doha. I like Bahrain. I like Muscat. There's a lot of places in the Middle East I like, but I love the UAE and I love Qatar. I love Qatar. The people in Qatar are some of the nice people. I've had people literally bring me in their house. People I worked with and let me stay with them and their family. It's just incredible hospitality. Well, Abu Dhabi looks like a city when I've been there. It has big old hotels and whatever it is. The point is, either one of those would be good because they're both right on the ocean. They both have some of the greatest malls, the greatest food, the greatest gym culture. We're all gym, gym, gym these days, like 6 days a week. There's no greater gym culture than Dubai, right? I mean, this is like considered number one in the world. I worked in Dubai for years and years, and either one, I really like them both a lot. I like the country. I like I like the freedom there. It's a place that you can go into a church. You can go to a mosque. You can go. You can even take a direct flight to Tel Aviv from the UAE because they have peace with Israel. So there's so many things about it that are people get it in their mind that it's some third world backwards thing. Nothing could be further from the truth. And the food is amazing. Everything's amazing there. So that's another option. See, Doc Kim, I live. Oh, you work? Okay. What do you like better about Dubai than Abu Dhabi, Doc Kim, if I might ask? I'm not an expert on it like you. I've just taken lots of business trips there. I've been to a lot of nightlife scenes in both places. Lots of restaurants. I was staying at the Sofitel, if you remember the Sofitel right there in Abu Dhabi, and right next to it was an Irish pub. I mean, people have it in their mind that it's some caricature of something from times gone by, but I think, you know, pretty incredible. So I would have no problem raising my daughters in either one of those. I could also tell you I spent a tremendous amount of time in Doha. I've posted all kinds of videos, and I see at the mall that I stayed at, right on the island that they made, I see more white women than I do Qataris. They live there, they work there, they love it there. I've done a lot of videos from the Hilton there, if you remember, with in the beach. And I don't know, man. I have no problem raising my daughters there. I think they have great schools, and I think it's safe. Well, yeah, you know it better than I do, Doc. That's for sure. I've only taken business trips there. I haven't lived there, but I have a lot of people that I'm working with. I don't manage the Middle East anymore. I manage Europe now, Europe and the Pacific region. But since the mid 1990s, I was doing the Middle East, and um, I've done business trips. I think I've been to every country in the Middle East. Literally, spent a lot of time in Lebanon, Syria. I I haven't been to Iran, not yet. I'd like to go. Honestly, if it was safe, I would go in a heartbeat. If I could ensure my own safety, I'd go to Iran in a second. But I can't ensure my own safety, so I'm not going to go yet. I went to Syria in Lebanon. Literally, there was people on gun turrets, and I'm walking through the streets of Beirut. You have it in your head that it's so scary, and they're gonna grab you. And no, the people were so friendly. It was amazing. Not one hint of anything negative. Same thing happened to me in the Philippines. Everyone said, the U.S. government said, don't go to Mindanao, don't go to Zamboanga, don't go to Basilan and Sulu and all these places, Tawi Tawi. I went to all of them. Never had a second of problem. So yes, Doc M and Tim is in the house. So one of the nice things in those cities too is if you are into the dating scene, a lot of the clubs I went to was very fascinating. They had the girls segregated by race. So they had a section of Chinese girls, Russian girls, Ukrainian girls, Filipinos, Chinese, and there might be a few others in there. And you could go up and kind of mingle with them based on what you wanted. You know, when I used to manage the Middle East, I used to do live streams all the time. I did uploads, and I would tell people, don't listen to the fake news. Go to these places yourself, and you'll be amazed how not scared you are. You know, the news media, that's what their job is to scare the crap out of everybody, to make everyone hate each other, to make everyone discriminate, and to think like everyone's a boogeyman. Well, I've been dealing with Muslims for 35 years, and I have never had an incident. I think what happened when the Russians fell, like let's say 1991, they had to come up with a new boogeyman, and for a while, that became the boogeyman. But it's not like that in real life. Even in Saudi Arabia, and I've been going to Saudi Arabia since the 90s. I've had nothing but good times. There was some weird stuff, like the way they segregated you at restaurants and stuff. I'm not saying it's all roses, but I think people should go themselves and check it out. I'll tell you this, if you compare Abu Dhabi or Dubai or Doha to London, Paris, and some of these other places, they're considerably nicer than those old uh, Western European capitals. London's such a shithole right now. It's really sad what's going on over there. So where were we? Age gaps. Yes. So the realistic thing, can you see yourself dating an 18-year-old? Are you going to be able to go to the mall together? Are you going to be able to have intimacy of any kind? Not the paid kind. I'm talking about the real deal here. You know you're not going to be able to, but why not be happy if it's a 20-year gap? Even a 15-year gap, that's pretty good. It's realistic, it's doable, and it's much more real than a 30 or 40-year age gap. And I'm all for the freedom. If you want to do it, do it. I don't have any heartburn whatsoever about people making whatever choice they make. But for me, I tried it. I did it. I dated an 18-year-old when I was in my late 40s, and it was awkward. It was weird. I was self-conscious every second of this. I had multiple experiences. I remember when we went to Manila from Cebu. We flew there, and I literally thought I was with my daughter, and it was just too weird for me. The answer is no, says Doc M. Tim Diziak, I am 23 years older. Well, that's good, right, Tim? Because I'm saying around 20. I agree with that too, Doc M. I don't care, but I cared. Maybe I just wasn't ready for it. Now, right now, I'm presently dealing with 20-year age gap. Tim's dealing with a 23-year age gap, and that's already a big age gap. Um, it's a good size age gap, but I agree with you though that I think people should mind their own business, and I think that it's none of our business what other people do. But I myself was self conscious about it. I felt like I was some kind of freak, but yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like in the 20s, I mean, just realistic age gaps. So before you got here, Doc, I was explaining that a friend of mine who's 64 years old is dating a girl or about to date a girl that's 17 years and 10 months old. He's waiting for 2 months to move in together. So 48, that's a 47-year, what is it, a 46-year age gap? That's pretty extreme. And I also met somebody, I had a friend of mine that I met on the airplane. This was years ago. Um, and I'm not making this up. It's going to sound like I'm making this up, but I had a friend, this was back in 2000, somewhere like five, let's say 20, 21 years ago. I was still a lot younger, a lot more virile. And I flew together with there's the Chitlins, with a man that was 95 years old. And he had a girlfriend. And I met that girlfriend at the airport. And I was staying that particular trip at the Heritage Hotel, which is on the corner of Edsa and Rojas in Pasay. And right next to it is a place called the Copacabana. I don't know if that's apartments or something, but it's a kind of a more budget friendly type place. And Heritage is pretty budget friendly now. It used to be a 5-star hotel. I think it's been degraded twice now from a 4 to a 3. If it goes any lower, it's going to be at the Motel 6 level. But he was 95, she was 25. They had a 70-year gap. And the guy asked me, because I met him a couple times on that trip, we went out to eat a few times. He asked me if I would come and perform for her and he could watch. And I said, no. And because he said he can't do anything. And I said, well, you got yourself in a real conundrum. You're with somebody that's young enough to be your great granddaughter, but you want someone to perform and do your job for you while you watch. And I go, I am no circus animal, my friend. I'm not doing it. And I didn't. Well, that problem got solved because um, the guy died like a year later. I mean, he went out with hey, I guess he probably went out with a smile on his face. What can I say? I have so many fun stories I could tell from all the plane rides. Long before I moved to Asia, like more than 12 years ago, I used to take business trips all the time. And so I had these 15, 16-hour flights, and I always sat next to somebody. Or one of my favorite flights was the couple. They were both 12 years old when they immigrated from the Philippines. I think they were, at that point, they were in their 50s, and they had never been back to the Philippines. This was the very first time since they were 12 years old, and they immigrated together, her family and his family, and then that couple got married when they lived in the States. And I kept contact with them over the years, and they were asking me for all these tips on where to go because they said you know Manila much better than we do. And I remember talking to them when they left Manila, and I go, "When are you going to come back?" They go, "We're never coming back. We left it. We should have stayed." They were shocked, like time has a way of dealing with these memories. The squatters areas and all of the what you see there, the begging and all that. It was shocking for them, the filth, and they just weren't prepared for it. Well, I guess the one thing you could do, Tim Dizziak, on that note, because we're all going to not be able to perform one day. This is a truth that we need to all wrestle with at some point. And thankfully, I'm not at that stage yet. And that's one of the reasons. I'm not saying it's the only reason why I work out 6 days a week, but it's something that definitely has a part of it. I want to be able to continue to do what I do, and the only way I can pull it off is to do a lot of exercising. But I guess one other way of looking at it would be because you're only in your 60s, Tim. But if you were, let's say, 70s or 80s, and the woman was post-menopausal, and you're looking for a companionship type of relationship at that point. I've known a lot of people who did that. I'm not ready. I'm certain. Hopefully, I'll never be ready for that. I'd rather just kick the bucket one day. I don't want to end up like that idiot out there on that island who's saying that his greatest accomplishment in life is that he made it to the age of 70, hunkered down, hibernating, scared to walk out the door. I don't want to be that type of guy. I'd rather just kick the bucket one day and say, okay, I lived a good life and it's over. But there's a lot of people that are so afraid of that. I mean, I want to go now. I have kids, right? I want to be there and everything's going quite well. But I'm sure that everybody gets to an age where if you're always in pain, your life is diminished quite a bit. I don't believe in suicide, but I think, if we could write our own ending and your ending says ending number one is you're 75 and you kick the bucket, ending number two is at 76, you're basically in a nursing home for the rest of your life until 95. I'd rather be the first one. Thankfully, there's other alternatives to both of those, but if that was our only alternative. Oh my goodness. Hopefully that wasn't a shot. I might be out of here right now. Yes, Tim. I mean, I want to be there for them. So this is why I have done everything I could with life insurances and all kinds of other things and pensions and everything in the world in case something happens. But I don't want to kick the bucket yet. I want to be there for them. So that's part of what motivates me to walk my 10,000 steps a day, to go to the gym. I don't drink anymore. I haven't drank for 14 or 15 months, and I'd stopped it for 2 years during COVID. There's part of me that misses drinking though too. Like I want to go back to that because I like clubbing it, But it's about balance, because you don't want to get boring with your life, but you don't want to be reckless either. See this one here. He's just a peanut, just turned 2. So when you're having children at this age and have a 2-year-old, you have to try your best and then get insurance like crazy just in case something happens. My problem right now is I have so much insurance that they're probably praying that I die every day. Probably should have my drinks tested just in case there's arsenic or something in there. Maybe they'll get a bunch of digitalis and crush it up into my tea. Well, I'm gonna probably start wrapping it up here, but I enjoyed the conversation, Doc M and Tim and everybody else in here. Thank you so much. Something to ponder, something to cogitate over, ruminate and muse. Our relationships should be vibrant and full and fun and exciting. And if they're not any of those things, they're just hanging on for dear life. Get real, man. That's why we move to these countries so we can have life to the fullest. Honeycomb. Everything we're doing here, we're being pretty transparent with it. We have so many people we know that hide and sneak and live a life that's completely the opposite off camera as it is on camera. And we try to keep it real, right? Yeah. It's your mouth full of food? No, I don't. So yeah, we're just keeping it real and had a good old time. So once I go on my next trip, I'll go through that whole gut wrenching say goodbye at the airport routine. That's the hardest part. Yeah, the money is great. The get to travel around the world is great. All the benefits are great. Everything's great about it. I love everything I do, but doesn't come without its sacrifices, and that's definitely one of them. Thank you so much, Mad Max, and appreciate you stopping by again. And Tim says, I'm happy with your relationship. I'm glad to hear that. Is that the same person that I knew of before? You guys have been together for a long time, right? I could say her job, but I'm not going to because I don't want to give anything away. But you told me that before. I just want to make sure I was curious if it's the same person. Well, we're certainly glad that you came, Mad Max. We appreciate everybody who comes, who gives up any time whatsoever. I personally enjoy talking to people in the audience. I learn a lot, like Doc M said, Dubai versus Abu Dhabi. Tim, talked about the heat index or his tricycle. There's so many things about his life. If you really want to get educated on the Philippines, by the way, Tim Dizziak's videos are the best. Yeah, it's the same one. Mad Max, you know me, kind of. Well, that's good. Thank you. And you're certainly welcome because you're polite every time, and we appreciate polite people. Anyone who's polite and wants to be cool with everything can talk about anything they want. There's no censorship in that. And as long as they're not attacking other people and they're not being a total prick about it, anyone can talk about or say anything they want. I like it when people have differences of opinion. I like to hear differences. I'm tired of the echo chamber, tired of the YouTube vlogging, same old bullshit that you hear. Oh, I had my first Jollibee. It's nauseating. I just wish people could talk freely and not worry about any repercussions because it's a hell of a lot more interesting when you can express yourself any way you want and not fear being judged or having being timed out, being blocked. Just be yourself because you guys probably know a hell of a lot more than I do, and I can learn a lot more from you than you can from me. So I am very thankful for your time. All right, everybody, I have to get rolling. Take care. Bless you all, and we'll talk.